One of the biggest mistakes I made with my life was to take it for granted. My freedom for granted, my ability to travel for granted. And I had so much time locked up in quarantine to regret that mistake. Now stranded at the tropical destination of my balcony over my morning coffee ritual, all I have left is dreams and memories of a life I used to have and I so want back. I had to think and I needed to act and I had to pull my thoughts together somehow. Music is all we need, as some people say, and that's exactly what I did. I have this really cool 1950s radio at my place, which takes a bit of time to warm up, just like Bob, but has this awesome feature of displaying names of cities instead of radio frequencies. So every time I freak out, I turn that knob and let my travel deprived fantasy slide alongside the path of the frequency needle on that dashboard. And I daydream of places I'd love to visit until one morning I actually had a glimpse of hope spring into mind. What if I could actually plan an actual trip with Bob to some, if not all, of the places that I've been looking on my radio dashboard? Why not? It would totally seem possible. After all, no one can quarantine dreams. A plan is a super cool thing to have, but having something to put that plan on is a different story altogether. In my efforts to do that, I bumped into one of the sweetest farewell gifts I received when I left Singapore. It was a travel calendar for me to mark my adventures to be, which has been staying dormant ever since. I opened up the calendar and there were so many sweet travel wishes in there that made me pause and think. That was my friend's way of pushing me to travel. That was Fitz's way of telling me, George, stop thinking and just go. And it was high time I changed that. I realized I had two choices. I could either spend the rest of 2021 in misery or lift my spirits up and do something to change that. It was time to plan my great escape. I quickly jumped into Bob and decided to take him for a spin around Thessaloniki. I was driving alongside the promenade and I was slowly piecing together the puzzle of what my trip across Europe would actually feel like. Of course, when it rains it pours, as they say, and it was on that rainy day that Bob's windshield wipers decided to give up on me. But I couldn't care less. This is going to be a great trip and I will see it through. Just like any self-respecting traveler, I immediately jumped on Google Maps and started putting together a plan instead of daydreaming about destinations I'd like to see. This time, I was actually planning on visiting those places. My starting point will of course be Thessaloniki, and I will make my first major stop in Firenze, Italy to join the IMM 2021. From then on, and provided I do sober up in time, I will start driving north and will not stop until I've completed one full round of Europe and I make it safely back home again. Of course, all of that is easier said than done, and there's plenty of work ahead of me. I gotta prepare myself, I gotta prepare Bob, and make sure I sort out what provisions I need for Bob and what I need for myself. I have to go through the entire car and make sure there's space for everything I need, including the minor details. Tuning and servicing the car is one side to the coin, the other one being all the modifications and alterations I will need to carry out to make sure that Bob will make it through without too many hiccups. Every time an alteration or modification does take place, I will be test driving the car to make sure that Bob is safe to drive and reliable to the furthest extent possible. And since I'm locked up in a country as beautiful as Greece, there are plenty of routes to drive Bob through in preparation for my great European escape. Feel free to hop on and enjoy the ride.